crisp, refreshing taste. Brewed with fighting spirit since 1925.
Sign up today for a new William Hill Nevada mobile sports account, and you can earn up to a $250 bonus bet after placing your first qualifying wager. The William Hill Nevada mobile sports app allows you to bet on the go from any iPhone, iPad, or Android device from anywhere in Nevada. Sign up today and you will never miss another bet. With the largest wagering menu, the mobile sports app features same-game parlays, early cash out, and live in-play wagering on all major sports. For more information, official rules, and to see participating sign-up locations, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This Lotus Cares message is brought to you by Subaru of Las Vegas. April is National Donate Life Month, celebrating the lives that have been saved and healed because of donors' generosity, giving hope to the 100,000 people on the National Organ Transplant waiting list. Find out more and be a donor at donatelife.net. This Lotus Cares message is brought to you by Subaru of Las Vegas. That's easy. That's community. SubaruofLasVegas.com.
Miss a show? Check out lvsportsnetwork.com for everything ESPN Las Vegas, 1100 AM and 100.9 FM, KWWN Las Vegas. It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
4 o'clock hour is here. It's brought to you every day by Battleborn Injury Lawyers. We are on ESPN Reno, ESPN Las Vegas. The call from anywhere in the state of Nevada number for Battleborn Injury Lawyers is 766-1400. If you're in the north, 775-766-1400. You need advice, you got a case, you need help, call Matt Hoffman, Justin Watkins, and the fine team at Battleborn Injury Lawyers. Willie is here. Jess is running the show. It's Big Four time. Let's get to it.
Battleborn Injury Lawyers presents The Big Four at 4. Number 4.
All right, Willie. Well, one of the biggest hits of bowl season every year is this Pop-Tart Bowl where we're eating giant dressed up Pop-Tarts and throwing them in a toaster. And apparently during the NFL draft, more Pop-Tart action as they're going to have the, I didn't even know there was this flavor, protein slammin' strawberry will be drafted by the fans head to mouth heaven next Friday at 3:00 in Pittsburgh. Are we all Pop-Tarted out?
No. I personally, I mean, I don't remember the last time I had a Pop-Tart, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, why not? If the gimmick's working, let them in. The more the merrier. You know, hey, listen. If you were going to the draft and you were in the press room and then Pop-Tarts were there, I think you're grabbing one.
I probably am, but I'm not throwing in a toaster. I like them dry. I'm a little bit weird.
I do too. I don't worry too much about the toasted Pop-Tarts.
Number 3.
All right, Willie, let's talk a little NHL playoffs. We'll get to VGK in the 5:00 hour. We're going to be joined by Gary Lawless around 5:25. What's the latest with Seattle now that they're in the NHL? How do you judge how this thing has gone so far?
Man, I read this story and the headline popped across and I was a little stunned only because the crowds are coming there, but it's the one thing that the sentence that stood out was that as the seasons have progressed that they've been in the league, the prices have gone down. And if you remember, I know I was a partial season ticket holder with some partners and we use it for business. My son and I, when we owned the gym for clients, the prices went up every year for the Golden Knight.
Prices didn't go down here.
They didn't. They certainly don't go down here. They were going up by percentages, and it was all they stuck to their contract in the agreement. But apparently it's becoming a tough sell per se at the prices that they're offering. But so they're bringing the prices down. They're going to miss the place. They're going to miss the playoff, or they missed the playoffs.
Fourth time in 5 years they missed the playoffs.
Yeah, and they compared it to Las Vegas. You know, they obviously said that Vegas has set the standard, but they're set to miss the playoffs for the fourth time in 5 years and joined the rebuilding Blackhawks as the only NHL teams to finish in the league's bottom 8 for a third straight season, which isn't good when you have a city that has a team that just won the Super Bowl. The Mariners were in the ALCS. the Seattle Storm and the Seattle Sounders, we're talking about, the WNBA champion, a two-time MLS winner, the popularity of the college up there in terms of Washington. And now the NBA is coming. So if it's a hard ticket to sell, as they can only go so far down with their ticket prices. If they hit rock bottom where they can't sell a ticket at some point, where's that franchise going?
Yeah. At one point, they were 27-20-9. After that, including the loss last night, they're 5-14-2. As we mentioned, Kraken have missed the playoffs in 4 or 5 years. Well, a couple of differences between VGK and the Kraken. VGK had immediate success, has still been successful ever since. They've been a better franchise. And listen, I'm not on the algos to follow all the different hockey writers, but I remember a lot of fans first couple of years of the Knights gave most of the credit to the Knights succeeding to a very easy expansion draft. Well, what exactly happened to the Kraken? I'm guessing that much of the league smartened up because VGK really took advantage of the rules and they learned lessons from that. But I just want to make sure people realize that what the Golden Knights did in the expansion draft and the years after that was something pretty special, and it wasn't just the expansion draft and loose rules.
Yeah, no, the Golden Knights took advantage of something that the NHL would, they hadn't had an expansion team in quite some time. So when they saw what Vegas was able to do, I think that they tightened things up, the nuts and bolts, and so it made it a little bit tougher. And they really tried to do a lot of acquisitions and acquiring big time names. They actually made a run at Artemi Panarin before the trade deadline. Didn't happen. So it was very, very difficult for them to build like Vegas did. And so where Vegas set the standard and they sort of told you how it's going to be done, the catch-22 is you can't do it like they did it. So I personally think that Seattle is going to be fine. I don't think that it's going to go anywhere. I don't think that the ticket sales are going to die off. I think that they'll have their crowd. I think they enjoy the hockey. Even when the NBA comes, it's just going to take a matter of having some because it is a sports town, and they do love their sports up there. It's going to take the one or two players. They got Chandler Stevenson from the Golden Knights off of a free agency run. So they just have to. You know what they haven't had, Steve? They've gotten some bigger names in. They haven't had the big name that center it around. And realistically, the Golden Knights did that for the longest time. When did they win it? Once they got Jack Eichel. So they brought in Mark Stone. Think about the guys they brought in and left before they won the Stanley Cup, like Max Pacioretty and Paul Stastny. I mean, there were guys that came in that it didn't work. They had to get them.
Number 2.
And the Aces have done a job of making sure they keep their core together. Their big three all making right around $1 million or more in Asia Wilson and Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young. But what that means with a salary cap is they're going to have to put together a bench in creative fashion. And she's back. She's back. One of the most controversial players in the history of the WNBA. Didn't play a year ago, but Kennedy Carter is a member of the Las Vegas Aces, Willie.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't think that I talked to somebody today in the front office just shooting the gab because, as you know, I've been down for the count. I haven't been able to get to the facility. I didn't want to interview anybody. I just wanted to talk. And I don't think that there's another franchise that girl could go to that would bring out the best of her basketball ability, but also the right locker room culture. I sort of liken it to the Golden Knights and how, they tried to bring in players over those first 6 years. Hey, we're going to build inside out, not outside in. We're not bringing in big time talent to help. And then, hey, we'll fit around you. No, we're going to bring in and make sure you can fit inside the locker room first. And then we'll utilize what you bring to the table. And I think that Kennedy Carter sees the opportunity to get back in the WNBA, playing for someone like Becky Hammon, who's not going to take her mess or any attitude, if she even has some, because T. Spoon never complained about Kennedy Carter. She loved her. It was everybody else. And it was all because of one push on Caitlin Clark. And it was a dirty shot, yes. But outside of that, she's just a hard-nosed player. You know what? We just got done talking about LaMelo Ball. We compared it to Draymond Green. So let's not pretend it doesn't happen on the guy's side either. It's just that they're girls, so we're complaining. Kennedy Carter is in the right spot. to bring out the best in her in and out of the locker room, on and off the court, with the players like A'ja Wilson, with someone like Chelsea Gray, with someone like NaLyssa Smith, who got a bad rap before she got here, and also a calming nature like Dana Evans and Jewell Loyd. Very big on their faith. They're very big on the locker room culture. They came here for a specific reason, that family-like atmosphere. I think Kennedy Carter is going to thrive in her role, whatever it ends up being, with the Las Vegas Aces.
Number 1.
Well, the build is mostly done, so we want you to go hardcore here, Willie, on the Aces. I mentioned Jackie Young, A'ja Wilson, Chelsea Gray, NaLyssa Smith, Jewell Loyd. Okay, beyond that, Dana Evans, Parker Tyus, Kirsten Bell. What do you think of the retention and then the additions beyond that?
Okay, Dana Evans, I think we all know that the first ones you mentioned are in the A bracket, whether it's A+, A, or A-. I think Dana Evans is right there in the A bracket with what she brings. She brought a championship pedigree with her. She won a championship in Chicago. She's now won one in Vegas. She knows what she's doing off the bench. She brings a very calming presence. I like the signing. Cheyenne Parker Tyus is an interesting one because she only played in 2 regular season games and contributed here and there postseason. But here's the thing. Don't forget that she went to China in the offseason, both while pregnant and then again this past offseason, and she played very well. So I think what they see in her is another veteran to give A'ja some time. She's had a full offseason now to sort of get her legs under her, get prepared after spending last year, the beginning of the season, pregnant. So it's an interesting signing, but obviously the front office believes in her. Kirsten Bell was the wild card. Do they bring her back? There's always a question mark on her head. Is she worthy of a roster spot? You know what? She was drafted here for a reason. She knows the system. She fits in well. And when Jewell Loyd came to Becky Hammon and said, sit me down, bring me off the bench, Kirsten Bell is the one that came in, and it was the logical choice because she won 2 championships with these players. So whether or not she's producing on the stat sheet, she knows the system that Becky wants done. She plays some hard-nosed basketball. She played in Athletes Unlimited. I understand the signing. Brianna Turner, defensive wizard, 2-time All-D team. She's an NC2A champion with Notre Dame with Jackie Young. So what we get with Bree T is somebody who replaces Kia Stokes. Kia Stokes goes up to Golden State to play with Natalie Nakase. But we talked about Kia Stokes so much about her defense, and her stat sheet never really saw more than 4 to 6 points. On occasion, she might have an offensive outburst, but she was needed as a defensive stopper. The difference between Kia and Bree T is Bree's younger. So you have younger legs coming in, and I think that she can provide some defensive stoppage. The beginning of last season, when the Golden Knights, when the Aces opened up 14-14, it was where's the defense and how are they going to stop these players? How are they going to stop these offenses? I kept saying, right, the rest of the league has caught up to the Aces and figured out how to play. Bree T is a phenomenal defender. I like this signing. Stephanie Talbot, another wild card as far as her role. Will she fit in with this lineup and where? Solid career as a backup. She's sort of a career backup. She's an Aussie. I know that franchise loves the Aussies. MVP of the WNBL in 2020. She sat out 5 seasons of the WNBA with either injuries or COVID. So she's got good international experience. She's really going to have to step up her caliber of play to run with this group. So I'm not giving the grade of a C because I don't think that she's worthy of it. It's more so of, okay, it's average, right? C is an average grade. Let's see what she can do to fit in. Where's she going to fit? We talked about Kennedy Carter. I'm going to leave it there. Now you got your 2 rookies.
Let's cut it off. Let's cut it off here because we got 20 seconds left. I'll just ask you about Kennedy Carter to go back. Does she have a chance if she's on the straight and narrow to be the starting 2 guard?
I think she'll be the 6th, unless Jewell pulls what she did last year. But I think she could be, and she has a potential to be the 6th player of the year.
Fascinating story to follow based on Carter's checkered history over the last 5 years. We'll get into some more of those details as the show moves along. I want to remind you, we got a big event coming up in May with a beer release party. We're getting our own beer. I am Steve Cofield of Cofield and Company, courtesy of our friends at our favorite brewery in town, Nevada Brew Works, now open at Boca Park. Non-smoking, family-friendly brewery. Not just beer. You got cocktails, brick oven pizza, Reverse happy hour from 9 to 11 Sunday through Thursday. That's when they have half price steaks on Sundays as well, all day long. Get in there, Boca Park and in the Arts District. It is Nevada Brew Works with Cofield and Company.
Big news, Las Vegas! Les Olson IT has moved to a bigger, better facility to serve you like never before. Our new space means more technology, more service, and more solutions, all designed with you in mind. Plus, we're hiring. If you're ready to grow with a company that values innovation and community, join our team today. Proudly serving Las Vegas for 23 years and counting. Les Olson IT, your business better.
Les Olson IT.
This is John Barr, General Manager at Findlay Toyota. Been thinking about getting a new truck? Now's the time. We got huge incentives on the powerful Toyota Tundra and Tacoma. These trucks are built to handle anything you throw at them. With these deals, they're more affordable than ever. But these offers won't last. Come see us at Findlay Toyota before they're gone. We'll make sure you drive off in the truck you've always wanted at the price you deserve. Findlay Toyota, Nevada's #1 selling dealership at the Valley Auto Mall in Henderson.
Modelo is an official cerveza of the Las Vegas Raiders and the JT the Brick Show. Modelo Especial is a rich, full-flavored Pilsner-style lager, delivering a crisp, refreshing taste, brewed with fighting spirit since 1925.
Spring is here, and so are the plans. Port of Subs makes it easy to feed a group with fresh, crowd-pleasing subs everyone loves. No prep, no stress. Just great food ready when you are. Order catering now at portofsubs.com. Port of Subs, made for sharing.
Slice fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Hello, everybody. This is Mark McMillan, former NFL player and now general manager for your Las Vegas Rockers. Get ready to roar. The Las Vegas Rockers charge into their first home game in the International Arena League on Saturday, April 18th. The Pennsylvania Benjamins roll into the Orleans Arena for a showdown packed with hard hits, wild scoring, and nonstop indoor football chaos. The fast, furious, Vegas-style action you can't miss. So grab your tickets now at LasVegasRockers.com and witness the beginning of an unforgettable Rockers history with friends, family, and fans cheering loud.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
After an accident, you don't want another headache dealing with the insurance companies. Let us get you all the money you deserve. Call 877-1500. That's 877-1500.
Murder and Row is the way to go. Call 877-1500. 877-1500.
Randy Westbrook, managing attorney. Las Vegas, stand by for details on how much it costs to borrow $1,000 from Dollar Loan Center. We offer signature loans up to $5,000 in minutes, and you don't need great credit or collateral. No checking account required, no application fees, and you only pay interest for the time you have the loan out. So if you need $1,000, it'll only cost you $5.50 per day. You can keep it out for a week, a month, a year. That's up to you. For new customers, the first week's interest is even on us. Give DLC a shot. You'll be glad you did. Stop by one of our over 25 area locations, including Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas, Mesquite, and Pahrump. You can also get up to $5,000 in minutes at don'tbebroke.com and save the drive.
For additional cost information, call 866-550-4352. Subject to approval, limitations may apply.
Hey, Vegas.
Let's go, dog!
This isn't just a game. It's a night out.
It is electric. Fast-paced action. I think it's amazing.
Music pumping, crowd jumping, action nonstop. That's Desert Dogs Lacrosse. Come feel it for yourself.
Fires and scores.
Join us for our final home game of the season, Saturday, April 18th. Grab your tickets at LasVegasDesertDogs.com.
Spring into cash for betting sports on the William Hill mobile app. With the William Hill Cash Rewards program, you can earn up to $500 in cash. Earn Spring Rewards points for mobile wagers made until May 31st. Win or lose, you can earn even more Spring Rewards points for teasers, parlays, and same-game parlays. Sign up for the William Hill mobile app today and opt in to enroll in Spring Rewards. To see participating locations, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. Ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Here's your chance to own a luxury vehicle at a non-luxury price. Hi, this is Brennan, General Manager at Jaguar Land Rover Las Vegas. Come and see a variety of our certified pre-owned vehicles at Jaguar Land Rover Las Vegas or visit us online at jlrlv.com.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio. It's an NL East showdown between hit rivals.
It's gone. Ronald Acuna Jr. with a bomb.
Ronald Acuna Jr. and the division-leading Braves head to Philadelphia to face Kyle Schwarber and the Phillies.
It's out of here. 2 home runs tonight for Kyle Schwarber.
On ESPN Las Vegas, 1100 AM and 100.9 FM. It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
All right, you heard it, Reno and Vegas on this Thursday. This hour is brought to you by Battleborn Injury Lawyer, 766-1400. Willie, let's get into a little college football, NFL, pro football. One of your pals, Bryce Hampton, is up with us. How are you, sir?
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. So, what have you been doing? Good. What have you been doing lately? We know you're, going to be, or you're playing a little bit of arena football. So, tell people in the audience what's been going on with you.
Just playing a little arena football. Probably my last year going on now. As of now, we're 2-1, headed to San Antonio tomorrow morning.
So, Bryce, when you and I ran into each other about a month ago, I asked you, you're like, man, I was ready to retire. I was getting ready to get into my career. I think you said, what was it? Yeah. Not not a paramedic, but what is the other
Fire Academy.
Fire Academy. Oh, for some reason I thought it was something different even from there. But you were going to the Fire Academy, but you said, man, Will, the itch, it's always there. And when the coach called, you were ready to go. Talk about that itch, because I mean, you are. I think that people forget about a lot of the top quality players that went to Vegas when you were going, right? Or that are from Vegas when you were attending Centennial, because of the Gorman guy, that undefeated run of those guys. But I mean, you were right there with. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson, who's now with the Patriots, right? You were one of Centennial's biggest stars. Savon Scarborough, who grabbed a training camp contract with the Chicago Bears. You were a big part of Centennial's program. What's it like for you? And talk about that itch that you felt.
Just seeing camp getting started up and going out there training kids, and just had that itch to get back out there. So I just gave coach a call, and we made it all happen. But yeah, just being a part of Centennial and that program, good program at that time, and still to this day, wanting to get back out there and play, get coach a call, it all work out.
Yeah, former, of course, he was at Cheyenne, I believe, and he just got inducted into their Hall of Fame. I believe he was over at Canyon when you were at Centennial. Correct me if I'm wrong. He was at a different school, but and he's taken over that program. But for you, again, going back to that time frame, a lot of people are going to remember the Gorman names, right? The Tate Martells, Dorian, Brevin, all those guys. But nevertheless, in terms of putting Southern Nevada on the map, you can't talk about Southern Nevada without talking about guys like yourself, guys like Greg Rogers, who's not playing anymore. But the guys who still help lay the foundation and the building blocks of that continued from even, when your own father was playing at Green Valley, you know what I mean? But in terms of the building blocks of what's now become a hotbed for sports, it's got to make you feel good.
Right, yeah. I mean, those guys have, I know Greg Rogers is training kids here in Vegas, getting his name out there and coaching out of high school. So I know those guys are just doing their thing and still putting kids out there. I got Malik Houseman with a 7-on-7 team still there in the community, getting his name out there. So it's good to see those guys out and still being a part of Las Vegas and the football community and keeping it growing.
Once again, we're speaking with former Centennial standout Bryce Hampton when he finished up his college career at Purdue and is now a part of the Nighthawks. He won Defensive Player of the Year for the league a couple of years back. So, Bryce, what are there bigger goals for you, or have you sort of accepted that, hey, this is my ceiling, I just want to have fun, sort of live out my dream, scratch that itch, and then go back into what you were training for the fire company? I mean, is it always in the back of your mind, I'd love to be seen as there, get some exposure for the next step to the NFL?
I would, but, that's a small window. And how it goes, it gets a little political, but, that's how life is. So just doing my role in the job that the guys put me in and just taking it from there. But I think this will be my last season playing, and I think getting into the academy will just be another way for me to help the community.
Well, and so last season for one of the local heroes, one of the greats from his era. If you don't know who Bryce Hampton was, I mean, standout over at Centennial with one of the best teams out of the Northwest back then, one of the best programs really in eras. Tell us about the IFL and the competition and why people should come out and support you and the team and the action that they'll get to see.
It's a fast-paced game, offensive game. I know a lot of people want to see a lot of touchdowns and receiver scoring and stuff like that. If you want that and like that, that's a thing to watch. We got a lot of good talent out there, a great quarterback, great receiver, good coaches. And if you'd like to come out and support, it's down there at Lee's Family Forum. We'll be back home in next week, I believe. So,
are there any familiar faces around? Are there any familiar faces around the league that you're playing against? Are there any other locals in this league?
Not that I know of. I know Adam Plant was in the league last season. He got an opportunity in the UFL. Not really sure of other David Elder, I think he might still be playing, but I'm not really sure. But
Adam Plant, of course, had
my team.
I believe had a training camp contract with the Raiders. For a minute there out of Gorman. And so, as you mentioned with the UFL, when you and I were talking, you reeled off a couple of names that are in the UFL that's playing simultaneous along with the IFL at the same time. I know Dorian is in the UFL. Who else is in the UFL from Southern Nevada?
Dorian, Adam Plant. I think those are the only two guys that are playing in the UFL currently this season.
So a lot of spring football action that, if you're getting that, as Bryce said, is getting that itch for football. There are some local names that are playing in both leagues, so make sure you check them out and go down to Lee's Family Forum and watch the Nighthawks. What's the team like this year as far as potential to make another run?
I think the ceiling is very high. Now it's a little early to say, but it's a long season, 18 games, and again, it's fast-paced, a lot of offense, so we got to bring some good defense and get some stops. But I think the ceiling is high for this team. A lot of rookies, like my first year, kind of gives me that same type of feeling, like my rookie year. But these guys are picking it up. Coach Davis is getting them right, and I think we can make another run again for the championship, without a doubt.
Once again, speaking with Bryce Hampton, former Centennial star, Purdue defensive back. And remind me again, you started where, at Adams?
I started junior college at Mesa Community College.
Okay. And then you went to Purdue from there.
Went to Snow College, another JUCO, finished out my second year. Then I ended up at Adams State, Division II, All-American there, and hit the portal, and I finished up at Purdue for my last season of ball.
And there's a good message to a lot of kids, that, I mean, you think about it, they hear those names, right? Mesa, Adams, Snow College, right, in Utah. And then you end up at Purdue in the Big Ten, the transfer portal, how vital it is. In terms of never giving up on your dream, because you just never know what's going to happen. I know that how much your dad would brag to me about, he's got a big game coming up. He's got a big game coming up. How vital that was for you to be able to utilize that transfer portal and keep getting your game film and the exposure out there.
I think just during that time in my life, it was big for me. Just putting in a lot of work and effort, and like you said, seeing those guys run a valley, going to big time schools and competing with those guys on a weekly basis. Those are my friends growing up. So being around those guys, I had no doubt in my mind that I could be at that level and play at that level. Just the opportunities were slim. So for me, just to working my butt off to try to get there, and finally got to where I wanted to go, and made it happen. Just never gave up on my dream.
Hometown hero Bryce Hampton, Purdue player, playing in the Arena League up with Cofield and Willie. Let's close on this one. I got to ask, for the longest time, Purdue had a pretty good edge on Indiana. What the heck happened the last couple of years with Indiana football to allow it to take off? And does it give you, a Purdue guy, some hope that Barry Odom and Purdue can turn the corner and at least get back to a level where they can win 6-8 games in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think Barry Odom just needed this year to get his recruits in and get everything going. So I think this will be a good year for them. Indiana, last year they were pretty stacked, had a pretty older team, had a lot of experience, and kind of took over the Big Ten and really college football. So hopefully Barry Odom get it going, get his guys in this year, and have a successful season.
Bryce, we appreciate a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
There is Bryce Hampton, a former Purdue player, and I am curious, and we kind of hit on it there, what he would tell or say to young guys who may fall short of going and getting a Division I scholarship, because that's reality now, Willie, and it's happening a lot more than it ever happened before. And listen, I'm not a blue chip football prospect, so I'm sure it's heartbreaking not getting a Division I scholarship, but the way the system is now, most teams at the highest level want to be old and stay old, so opportunities for high school players are dropping down. That doesn't mean, or being reduced, that doesn't mean there's no opportunities, but they're going to have to take a more non-traditional path, and the rise of JUCOs and other places are happening, and you're going to have to take a longer path to get that Division I scholarship, and maybe that's the way it should be. Maybe the FBS scholarship should be more coveted. It should be harder to get.
Well, it's always been like that in this town, right? Until sort of the growth of Bishop Gorman and bringing the exposure to the other schools, it's somewhat been like that, Steve. And Southern Utah has always been great in recruiting here and getting the exposure of the kids. So, nothing wrong with starting there.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we're going to get into VGK as one of Willie's cohorts at the Hockey News is going to join us. Hockey with Hannah. She'll be up in just a few, and we'll get you updated on the latest now as the season closes out, what's going to happen to the playoffs in VGK.
William Hill Sportsbook is your home court, home ice, and home field for April sports betting action. Build your lineup with a same-game parlay for a shot at a big payout. Don't forget, William Hill Sportsbooks have a deep betting menu for golf each week, too. Sign up today for a new William Hill mobile account and get your first bet matched up to $250 instantly. Play more, get more, opt in for spring rewards, and get up to $500 cash back. Hundreds of deposit locations as far north as Jackpot and to the south in Laughlin. Visit williamhill.us for details.
Good morning.
Vegas is built on service.
Studio lights on, please.
3 shifts a day.
All right, let's do this.
As your morning begins,
It's showtime. We have a lot to talk about live on the program for the next 3 hours.
to do our part, News 3 Today delivers Las Vegas stories that shape your community.
Just in some breaking news on the economic front.
So, whether it's late breaking,
Breaking news.
bumper to bumper,
Avoid using flamingo.
or clearing skies,
No showers anticipated.
it's News 3 Today.
Join the Las Vegas Celtic Society as they host the 20th annual Celtic Festival and Highland Games at Craig Ranch Park this weekend. Live music all weekend, Celtic dancers, pipe and drum competitions, beer gardens, and plenty of food and drink. Come witness feats of strength at the Highland Games. Bring the whole family. Kids under 5 are free. This weekend, it's the Celtic Festival and Highland Games. Brought to you by Dollar Loan Center and Shook and Stone Injury Lawyers. Get your tickets today at LasVegasCelticSociety.org.
This is JT the Brick for Finley Volvo Las Vegas. How about a 39-month lease for only $639 for the 2026 Volvo XC60 SUV? What a beautiful car. That's $39.98 due at lease signing, 10,000 miles per year. And you want to talk about a refresher, mid-size luxury SUV. I got one for you. If you're considering buying or leasing a luxury SUV, you have to see and test drive a Volvo.
If you were injured in an accident, why would you call anyone but the Richard Harris Law Firm?
When I started my firm here in Nevada, I took cases of all sizes, and today we still do. It's about getting results for our clients.
We fight for the largest possible settlement in every case.
And with all that fighting, we've become Nevada's largest personal injury law firm, recovering billions for our clients.
Who you hire matters.
Why would you call anyone else? The Richard Harris Law Firm.
The Golden Circle Sports Bar inside Treasure Island Hotel and Casino is the place to watch games on the Strip. The huge video wall and over 55 plus screens throughout the bar. Place your sports bets at the new STN Sportsbook. The menu with the Golden Circle Burger, the Linebacker Bison Burger. Golden Circle Sports Bar's happy hour is amazing with $5 draft beers every day from 10 a to 6p. Treasure Island, the Vegas destination for those seeking a contemporary resort experience with an ideal location on the Las Vegas Strip. And remember, parking is always free.
It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
All right, Willie, another night of NHL action, and then we're set for the playoffs. First of all, we haven't gotten your reaction to what Tortorella has done here and how they've turned things around. And outside of that one, whatever you want to call it, tie, loss, whatever it is, this team's been on fire and raced to the top of the Pacific Division. Are you even surprised? Because I know you had some confidence that Torts would do a pretty good job. Are you surprised by what's happened?
Not really. 7-0-1 is not out of character for a team like this. I think the sense of urgency really shook them up. I'll be honest with you. I think the move with 8 games left in the season shocked the crap out of the players. And like, whoa. You know what I mean? Because I don't necessarily think that Cassidy lost the locker room. I think he lost the front office. I think that the players and Cassidy combined collectively may have lost the electricity, the vibe, the jump that they talk about. Like, I personally don't think that George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon dislike Bruce Cassidy, what he did, his system, his philosophies. You know, I think that it got to a point where they may have butted heads with Gerard Gallant. I think that maybe Pete DeBoer, it ran its course. I just think that it just wasn't working. There was no vibe there anymore. And so it was time to shake things up. And when you do something like that with 8 games left in the season, it even sends a red light to the players. The only thing that's really shocking is that it closed the season on that run. Like, this is a team that's capable of going 7-0-1 at any given time of the season. That talent, this is a team that should have been going on runs like that once or twice during the season. So I'm not surprised. It's just, why did it take so long? Was it Tortorella, or was it just the coaching change itself? Was it a message that was sent? That's the question that needs to be asked. Or it doesn't even really need to be asked, because you know what? Right now, all systems are go.
You have been very subtle. You're really one of the only people in the market who talked about Cassidy maybe losing some of his effect a while back.
Yeah.
So that was part of the reason, I guess, this didn't shock me. It shocked me that it was 8 games left in the season and that they were throwing all caution to the wind. But this is something that you heard or that you saw might be coming in terms of the zeal, the zest, the energy in the locker room with the Knights?
Didn't hear it. And I think what you're referring to is when the NHL draft was held here, was that directly after they won the Stanley Cup, where the handful of free agents had left, the year that Marchessault left. So yeah, that was after the second year that he had sort of lost the locker room, and they were running the same course as the Boston Bruins, where he maybe had lost the locker room. But I don't necessarily. I think what I was hearing was more geared toward players that he felt had run their course with the team, and it was time to move on from. And unfortunately, some of them were the popular players: Logan Thompson, Jonathan Marchessault. You saw different players exit that had been with the team, that had become fan favorites, but they moved on from. What I alluded to this year was the fact that, okay, it's not working. Are they spinning their wheels? And it has that, as I just mentioned a second ago, has that vibe gone away? Is it where, well, I just don't know what to do anymore with this team because I'm going back into my personal playbook. I'm going back to my little black book of here's what worked before. If it's not working now what do I do? Because I'm working with the same guys. And Kelly McCrimmon made the decision to step in and make a statement and say, here's how we're going to get the energy back. We're going to get rid of the coach and send a statement. So,
it's worked. It worked. Yeah, it's worked, and we'll see if it works in the playoffs, as the Mammoth are going to be the matchup for VGK in short order. This hour is brought to you by Battleborn Injury Alert. 766-1400 is a call from anywhere in the state of Nevada. Number. More VGK talk on the way back.
Nick here with Stefano's Greek and Mediterranean Grill. Summerlin, it's official. Stefano's is now open on Lake Mead and Buffalo. Come enjoy our beautiful dining room designed for family meals, quick lunches, and everything in between. Or swing by for fast, easy takeout with all your favorites. Gyros, bowls, shawarmas, kebabs, and our famous baklava. Our salad dressings and marinades are made with no seed oils. And our must-try fries are cooked in 100% avocado oil. The new Stefano's in Summerlin is now open. Come taste what everyone's talking about. Stefano's, real food, real fast, real healthy.
Hi, sports fans, it's The Herd. We're here to talk about game changers. Just like in sports, business has all its MVPs, and Ford Country in the Valley Auto Mall is leading the pack. At Ford Country, you'll get VIP experience with the best service in town and exceptional savings on your favorite Fords like the F-150, Explorer, and the Bronco. Visit Ford Country at the Valley Auto Mall or online at FordCountryHenderson.com. Ford Country, where the difference is real.
The Vegas Golden Knights are rolling through another epic season. And there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your Knights on the ice. Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. So it's easy to sip and enjoy. It's not seltzer, it's Surfside, official partner of the Vegas Golden Knights. Sold in arena and at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is bad enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner and Rowe today. 877-1500.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 877-1500. 877-1500.
Randy Westbrook, managing attorney. I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ziprecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Sign up today for a new William Hill Nevada mobile sports account, and you can earn up to a $250 bonus bet after placing your first qualifying wager. The William Hill Nevada mobile sports app allows you to bet on the go from any iPhone, iPad, or Android device from anywhere in Nevada. Sign up today and you will never miss another bet. With the largest wagering menu, the mobile sports app features same-game parlays, early cash out, and live in-play wagering on all major sports. For more information, official rules, and to see participating sign-up locations, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Plumbers, HVAC techs, contractors, and DIYers. McFadden-Dale Industrial Hardware has the tools, parts, and supplies to power your next project. Open early and stocked with everything you need. Stop by South Decatur near Russell. McFadden-Dale Industrial Hardware. Fast, easy, and built for the pros.
The Las Vegas Aviators are in Reno, taking on their state rivals, the Reno Aces, with evening starts Tuesday through Saturday and concluding the series Sunday at 1. Listen to the games right here on Raider Nation Radio 920.
It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
All right, rolling on here on this Thursday edition of Cofield and Company, ESPN Reno, ESPN Las Vegas. Willie, let's get into a couple of blocks here of NHL and VGK talk. Gary Lawless is coming up at 5:25, but one of your cohorts from the Hockey News is up.
Kirkell joins us from the Hockey News. Proud to have her aboard. We just brought her aboard. I had to take a step back and sort of open the door for someone better than me. Believe it or not, Steve, I can put the humble hat on at times. Very talented writer. Glad to have her in town. Part of the Las Vegas media covering the Golden Knights. If you're not following her, check her out on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it and read her stuff at the Hockey News. Hannah Hockey. We're calling you Hockey, Hannah Hockey. How are you, my friend?
You know what? I'll take that nickname. It's better than others I've had in my life, so we're going to roll with it. Happy to be here.
We are so happy to have you here in Southern Nevada. You have been such a bright spot on press row, fitting in with everybody, and mainly keeping Danny Webster in check at times when we need him to just kind of pipe down. Hannah, how did the Golden Knights pull off a 7-0-1 win streak?
Now, their play under Tortorella has certainly improved, but if I can be not the Debbie Downer, but the little bit of dose of reality, they have played teams that statistically struggle to score goals and struggle to defend against goals. They played Vancouver twice, who is 30th in goals for per game played, and they're first in goals allowed. They played Calgary, who's 32nd in goals for and tied for 9th in goals allowed. They played Edmonton, who has struggled to score without Hyman and Draisaitl, understandably. They're 27th in goals for without those players. And then they played Seattle, who also struggles to score. The Winnipeg win was super impressive. Don't get me wrong, they've played very well. They've played, the Edmonton game. That was a 5-1. Even if they are without Draisaitl and Hyman, Connor McDavid is the best player on the earth, and Evan Bouchard is getting Norris consideration. That's nothing to turn your nose up at. They played Colorado, who even without Makar and Kadri, it's an elite lineup. It's maybe the best in the league. And they held them to, they didn't hold them to shots. They did get shelled in terms of shots allowed. But, I mean, they did what they had to do, and they won those tight games against they beat the teams they needed to, and then they also beat the teams that maybe you didn't expect them to. The Tortorella effect is real.
Let me throw this at you then, to that argument. During, which and it's a legitimate argument, but during a 4-10-2 slide, losing 12 of 16, and yes, there are some playoff teams in there. They lost to Washington. They lost to Pittsburgh. They lost to Edmonton, who you said was struggling to score without Hyman and Draisaitl. They lost to Utah, who they're going to face, but is still a questionable team. They're losing 1-0 to St. Louis right now. They lost to Nashville. They lost to the Winnipeg team you mentioned, who made a late surge. They lost to Washington again, and they lost to Edmonton. So, yes, they did make that run toward the end of this, or to close the season under Tortorella against, let's call it what it is, crap teams. But they also lost 12 of 16, and some of those losses were to teams that aren't going to the playoffs. Is it an energy thing?
I mean, I agreed with what you said earlier about there wasn't enough urgency, and now there is. It's hard to get inside players' heads because, they talk, but no one's going to come out and say anything super truthful to the media. They've all been trained, right? I mean, their play looks more urgent now. That's really all I can say.
Hannah Kirkell, follow her at H_Kirk6 on X, beat writer for the Hockey News. All right, Hannah, so they averaged 4.1 goals per game during the 8-game point streak that closed the season. Is it because of the teams they were playing, or did they remember who the heck they are?
Well, they're also averaging more shots on goal. They're averaging 32.3 shots over that 8-game point streak. They were averaging 28.6 before the coaching change. And Tortorella is preaching, just shoot the puck into the net. Don't try to pass it. And that's not a message that Cassidy wasn't saying, don't get me wrong. But like you said, it shocked them. They are responsive. They're living up to the potential that this roster should have.
Right. You came here from a huge NHL, a huge sports city in Pittsburgh. Tortorella, obviously, across the way in Philadelphia during his coaching tenure.
I actually lived in Philadelphia.
Okay, so you're well familiar and you're well-versed, a lot more well-versed with hockey vernacular than I am. What do you like about Tortorella that you've seen so far, whether it's in his press conferences? Because, he rubs a lot of people the wrong way. I like the abrasiveness. I think he cuts right through the nonsense of certain questions. He hasn't done it yet here that I've noticed, other than the other day. What was the question? He just went, no. Or no, it was about the Mammoth, I think. Where was it? Do you have any thoughts about Utah? No. But
nope.
What have you liked about him?
I mean, it's like you said. He tells it like it is. He hasn't had that notorious abrasiveness that he has in past years yet, but he's not beating around the bush. I don't think he's holding anyone's hand, but at the same time, I do think he's a positive presence on the bench. I think he's done a fantastic job. It can't be easy from his standpoint coming into a team with 8 games left where you're not familiar with many of the players, you're not familiar with many of the systems. Even if people expected success, did anyone predict this kind of success?
Yeah, that's what's impressive is the fact that they've just really. I said this, and you probably heard it while you were holding on. Is that I think some of the players may have even been shocked that Kelly pulled the trigger with 8 games left, and they were like, "Whoa, okay, we need to remember who we are." Because I don't think that there was any dislike or disdain for Bruce. I just think that he ran out of energy, and it's business is business. And Tortorella came in, but a lot of it, maybe they called upon themselves in the locker room. You mentioned the familiarity or the unfamiliarity with some of these players coming in with one guy that he has been familiar with, Carter Hart. What did Carter Hart do to perform the way that he's been performing?
Well, statistically, he's been one of the best goalies in the league over this 8-game stretch, if you want to call it, 3 weeks or whatever. He's 4th in the average save percentage behind just Wedgwood, Forsberg, and Wallstedt. This is out of goalies who have played at least 4 games over that stretch. I'm not counting him against guys that pitched a shutout in 1 game.
Right.
3rd in goals allowed on average with 1.66 behind just Wedgwood and Forsberg. And his 6-0-0 record is the best. Goaltending is a mental game. So it's hard to say what is he doing specifically that is working for him right now, because so much of it is from the mentality. But I do think a lot of it comes from that familiarity with Tortorella. This is a guy who knows him, knows how to get through to him, knows when to get through to him. It's probably easier than just throwing the guy into a situation where you are unfamiliar with the coach, because goaltending is such that mental game. You need that confidence, or it's not going to be, the kind of without that confidence, would this success run happen?
And the thing is you mentioned this late season success. We've heard it many times. You've seen it, right? And where you come from, and with those hockey teams, and just covering hockey in general. In April, it's the hot goaltender, and it's the hot, the team coming in smoking hot. It doesn't matter what seed you are. Maybe that's why the Presidential Cup winner, who starts a season off so great and then finishes ho-hum, but still has the best record, doesn't do it, because there's hotter teams coming in, hottest goaltender. That's had to have helped also in his confidence beyond knowing Tortorella.
Sure. I mean, like you said, there's no better example of the President's Trophy ho-humming and the hot team getting the better of them than the 2023 first-round matchup between the Bruins and the Panthers. That was the 8th seed who barely scrapped in versus a record-setting team. It's exactly what you're talking about. Their Golden Knights are getting hot at the exact right time. Yes, they have beaten up on some of those bottom feeder teams, but they've beaten the teams that are, the President's Trophy winner. They beat a team who's contending for second in the division. They're, who they contended with for the division lead for most of the season. This, going into Utah, it's going to be a harder matchup probably than the teams they've faced over this 8 games. But with this kind of confidence going in, that, that's not a bad thing. That can only be a good thing for morale.
Hannah, who's your pick to win the West?
To win the West? Probably whoever comes out of the Pacific. The Central teams are the best, but they're going to be beating each other up for 2 rounds.
All right. Who's going to win the East?
This is a trick question, because it's a similar situation with the Metro and the Atlantic.
Yeah.
All the real Stanley Cup favorites are in the Atlantic, and you've got Tampa and Montreal in round 1. They'll face the winner of Boston and Buffalo. I mean, I want to say Tampa, but Montreal has something going, and there's no hotter team in hockey than the Sabres.
Well, everybody, make sure you check out the Hockey News and Hannah's work. Hannah, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Hannah.
There we go. Was she suggesting she doesn't like the playoff format?
No, I don't think that. I don't think it has anything to do with the format. I think she was talking about the odds per se. Is that the Central Division? I mean, I like the NHL format, but it's just a matter of, hey, you beat each other up, and you leave yourself open to be really tired and really weary in those final rounds or the Western Conference Final. The thing is about that philosophy, when it comes to the playoffs, after you played an 82-game season, 162-game season in basketball, or in baseball, or an 82-game season in the NBA, there's also the argument that a team's battle tested as well. Well, they took the harder road, right? They took the tougher road to get where they're going. So, I mean, you can't compare the NFL because those are 1 games with a week to prepare, where these are 7-game series. But I get what she's saying. And if the Pacific Division is where, the team that with the fresher legs and less rigorous play is going to happen, then I get it. I think Montreal is the wild card out of there. I would love to see, and I'm not just picking it because it's Vegas, I would love to see Montreal and Vegas in the final, only so Nick Suzuki, who's up for a lot of awards, faces the Golden Knights.
Right now, it's your chance to win tickets to the Las Vegas Rockers opener coming up on Saturday. International Arena Football League. Pair of tickets to the opening game over at the Orleans Arena. It's coming up on Saturday against the Pennsylvania Benjamins. 364-1100, 364-1100. Support them. Caller 7. That's Mark McMillan's team. He's the GM.
The Golden Circle Sports Bar inside Treasure Island is the ultimate spot to catch all your favorite sports on huge video walls. 55-plus TVs offering ideal views from every seat, gourmet comfort foods, craft beers on tap, and all your favorite beverages. Plus, Treasure Island is the only place on the Strip with free parking.
An accident isn't just an accident. It's lost time, lost